Niaje watu wangu.
My name is Pastor T Mwangi.
Yo, T Baba.
And I'm a pastor, an author, a father, and a mentor to many.
And I am a gospel artist, comedian, an MC, kamsetuka creative, na mimi ni mfupi and I'm proud.
Being a man
is to take up responsibilities zile zinafaa kuwa taken, zile zimekuja kwa life yako.
The first thing a man is a priest. You're the one that leads your family and guide your family in godly matters.
Your career.
A man is a protector. You're the one that takes time to shield and protect everything that is around you.
Your vision, your dream, take up responsibility, your spirituality.
A man is a provider. That means he ought to walk outside their vent and also provide and look forth to make sure that his family or even the people around him are well catered for.
Your well-being. So for you to be a man or to say you're a man, you need to take up responsibility.
And finally, I'll say, as the Bible says, a man is the head. He's the one that sees, he's the one that prophesies, and he's the one that hears.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend and your coach, Robert Broale. And this, of course, is the All Men Show. And as I always say, the best show in Eastern Central Africa, south of the Sahara, and north of Limpopo. Thank you to all those who watched last week's show. We had a great time. And from your comments, well, it's evident that you enjoyed. Today is no different. I have two absolutely great men that are known to me personally, men who are doing great things, whatever they've been called, and moving masses and convicting, mentoring people, and giving guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. T Mwangi.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you very much for coming. And Mr. Do I call you Mr. Muhia, or do I call you just short, MojiShortBaba?
MojiShortBaba.
MojiShortBaba.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for coming to the All Men Show. It's an honor to have you here. This is a show dealing with matters men. We see how we can help our young men, get to the right direction. And today's show, we want to go a little bit deeper. Mr. T Mwangi, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Of course, you are known, but just go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, T Mwangi began as a gospel rapper.
Yes.
That is Mr. T. Then shifted from rapping and became a pastor. I was still doing pastoral work in rapping, but now I'm doing full-time pastoral work, pulpit ministry. Pastor Life Church International Limuru, the founder Truth Mentorship Society, has a lot of presence in the media, husband to Aheto Kabi, blessed with baby Tiffany. And yeah, I think that's all about me. I'm just, I call myself a young man. I'm not yet past the age of young. I'm a young man and passionate about Jesus and my generation. That's me.
Maisha finje?
Mr. T nimekataa.
Kabisa. Moji.
Yes, sir.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
That's a very good question. It's a deep question.
Beyond what we see. Who are you?
I think I am MojiShortBaba. I am a firstborn, family of 3. Kijana wa Nairobi. Nilizaliwa Nairobi, nimetoka Dagoretti. I am a gospel artist. Tulianza kurap. When I started my rapping career with Mr. T, he was one of the people guiding me at Mad Love Lounge. So I was a rapper with Didi. We started singing in a group called Kele Takatifu, did that for a while. And then a few years ago, I think in 2017, I went solo as MojiShortBaba. So MojiShortBaba is, now from there, I'm a musician, a bit of acting, a bit of MCing, a bit of, I'm just all around the creative economy, just doing one thing or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, and recently married. So hata mimi soon nitakuwa na
unasema I'm a father to baby somebody.
Father to. Sasa nalea wasanii. Anajilea.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We pray that the Lord will bless your union.
Amen.
And you'll raise a godly generation.
Amen.
Well, it's you've said something that when you started your rapping career, you had people like Mr. T helping you. You said Mad Love Lounge?
Mad Love Lounge, yeah.
Helping you. So there was a bit of mentorship there.
Yes, there was.
And I want us to deal with that a little bit.
Yeah.
You have managed to, for lack of a better word, maintained your journey to the straight and narrow. And we have seen many young people who started off well in the gospel industry, but maybe fame and followers got the better of them, and you're seeing them going off. What has kept your feet on the ground? Of course, aside of mentorship, and I'm glad you've said Mr. T was one of the people who mentored you. But now you've also grown into being your own person. What has helped you stay in the straight and narrow?
Well, I think, I've come to learn before when we were with Akina Mr. T, I was fresh out of high school.
Right.
So I was in Senior Chief Koinange High School some years ago. So that's where I schooled with Didi, and that's where we met. That's where we started our music, interest and career. So when we left high school, we joined a group called Mad Love Lounge because they looked like we were like-minded, because we were rappers and they were rappers, Akina Mr. T, Akina Holy Dave, and the likes, Akina Expo, and so many other guys that were there. So when we joined, we found guys who loved rapping, but still loved the Lord. So they were really they were heavy. Like Mr. T, the Mr. T guys know now is the Mr. T when amekuwa tu. Like right. Mr. T was consistent. In fact, hivi hata sasa ametone down kidogo because then it was everywhere tukipatana town, like nje ya Kenya Cinema, everywhere we used to meet, like it would be Bible study, like guys are edifying each other and stuff like that.
Right.
So when we started, I was doing the right thing unknowingly, right? Because I came and submitted under this older, because they were not old, they were young, they were like 24,
slightly older than
me. But they guided me, they showed me, okay, by the way, it's good to be a rapper, but you need to know the word. So we used to do a lot of Bible study, we used to do a lot of meetings, a lot of meetups, and guys would spy each other up. And so when I started that, I used to do unknowingly, because mimi nilikuwa nataka tu kurap, nilikuwa ninafuata hawa sendo wanipe platform, lakini nikichase platform wakanionyesha some other direction. So and I think from that point I've always been submitted to somebody who directs me, and most times people that are older than me, so they'd show me so unapata hao dating serious watakuwa mbele, marrying watakuwa mbele, starting churches or starting companies watakuwa mbele. So for me, one thing that has always helped me, and something I've come to realize, is that you cannot lead if you're not led.
Absolutely.
So you always need to be sitting under somebody. And hizo time, I remember I used to have a lot of older guys, but I never used to have a pastor. So then I went on to, because again, you can't be a king without a prophet. So you need a prophet who will direct, who will help you, who God can speak through. So for me, I can say mentorship and father, like having like a father figure, or having a community, people who are accountable, you can be accountable to, and you have yourself willingly submitted yourself to. That is one thing that helped me, at least nikae kama sijapotea, hata kama mimi mwenyewe niko na ujinga. Ni vile hiyo ujinga nikisema tu hivi niko na wase kama 10. Unajua like ushaenda mahali, ni kama uende kwa mahali wase wa Arsenal wako useme Man U damu, ushazimwa. So for me nimeona the best thing ni kujisurround na wase wenye wako sober minded. So ukisema ujinga, yani ukisema ujinga uko na wase watakusaidia. Nikikuja hapa niseme anything wrong, there are people who call me immediately and tell me, oh by the way nikuulize, so nini hiyo ulisema, ama what's up. So for me, submission and accountability and finding mentors and choosing to willingly be under them has helped me a great.
Mr. T, you're very big on mentorship, and you've mentored many in close quarters, but also many online who follow you and your advice on TV and whatever. Where did you get your passion for mentorship? Did you see a gap? Did you see a problem?
I think fame or popularity comes with responsibility. When we're still doing music, many people come and say, hey, Maze, I want you to mentor me. But at the moment of mentorship, I felt I was insufficient, incapacitated. I felt I was also going through my own motions of life. Because for me, mentorship was, I need to be perfect to work with you. And so my inbox was full, and I didn't know what mentorship is all about. And I was asking, what does it mean? Is it I work with you, when I'm called to sing, I tell you to cut and raise for me, and then you go home? Or what is it? It was also a murky area for me. Because I got someone, I worked with Pastor Googs Moffat, and he was there, never gave me a platform. I used to carry his Bible, and he would ask me, uliona vile nili perform? Even though mse perform. Uliona vile nili preach? Even though mse preach. So I was like, oh, so mentorship is not necessarily receiving the platform that the person has, but it is receiving the wisdom, the skills, and the ways. So I began to ask God, what is this thing all about, mentorship? And so I discovered there are 3 people. There is a coach, there is a mentor, there is a father. A coach, will show up in the time of potential. A coach does not help you know your potential. A coach shows up in the field.
Right.
And a coach will give you instructions. So when you're dealing with a coach, you deal with obedience. So do this, do this. I was watching soccer the other day, and a guy was taken out of the field, and he had scored 2 goals, but he was taken out simply because he was not playing in his lane. So the coach felt, you have results, but you're not obeying. I told you to play in this line. You're not going to number 6. You're supposed to be number 9. Right. Stay to your lane. So when you deal with coaches, coaches don't make you. They're there to tell you, dude, you can play soccer, and if you do 1, 2, 3, you'll succeed. Then a mentor is someone that has potential like you, but he has results. So he's teaching you the path of getting the results. And that's why people have to grow their mentors. And you deal with a mentor from a place of respect. So because he has what you don't have. And one day you might have what he has, and respect will end, because respect is earned. Respect is earned. So you look at me and say, hey, like Moji today, I respect him because he has more results in music than I have. So tukika hapa, tuna respect ndevu na results. But there's a time Moji will look at me and say, you know what, I really love the results that this guy has. And at that time, he will sit down and he will want to know, what is this guy doing different for him to get the results? So for me, in the place of mentorship, is looking for a person that has results of what you desire.
Absolutely.
You have the same potential, but why is he giving out these results? And so you partner to get the ways. And that's why someone said, mentorship, you don't show men your medals. You show men your scars, because they want to understand, dude, you are here, tulikuwa tunakula dondo. Saizi uko hapa. What was the journey between this and this? And the journey there is when you open your shirt and say, you know what, this is what I've gone through. And that's when the Lord told me, men are not looking for perfection. Men are looking for broken vessels, wounded vessels. People saying, by the way, bro, you can see these results, but imagine I'm still struggling with 1, 2, 3. And they're like, wow, that makes sense. So they begin to identify even with your own scars, your own tears, and even your own tears mentor them, and your own failures. Like I can tell Moji today, boss, we failed here. So we are not trying to show them our medals, that this is what we earned. I can tell him, in music, hapa ndo tulifail. Tuliworshipi kitu na tukahata. And then for them, they will not do the same mistake. And then now we have the fathers. For the fathers, we honor. That's a grace.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you can't run away. And the mystery of a father will see a king in diapers. But a mentor will need to see a potential to work with. So that's the place of mentorship. So we look at this place and we're like, man, many young people have potential. But the people who are meant to mentor them are showing them medals. So Moji comes to me and the first thing I'm showing him is how large I'm living and the cars I'm driving. And the moment I release my medals, I intimidate him. And so there are many young people who want to come to us, but they feel like, dude, you've never shared your scars. And that's where the place of stories, testimonies come. Like you tell them, mama pasi, lakini mimi nishai backslide. And they're like, okay, so hii njia si rahisi. And you're like, yes, this is not easy. But this is how we fight. This is where we failed. This is what we are planning. This is how we conquer. And that's where mentorship comes. Boss, ni kufungua shati na kuambia, easy bullets.
Nilidungwa hapa.
Nilidungwa hapa. In ancient Rome, they used to say, no one will be adopted as a military trainer or even as a chef. Because the first thing they will tell you, you want to train these people in military, strip naked. Let's see the wounds. Let's see the scars of war. You want to train these people in cooking, fold your sleeves. Let's see the flames, how they burnt you.
Right.
Because you have no right to talk to them if you have not gone through the process. Because it is this wisdom that will happen. And the misconception of mentorship is that if I work with Robert and I want to be an orator, public speaker, is that if I work with him, he's mandated to give me his platform. The worst thing you can do as a mentor is to duplicate yourself in a man. You have to raise men to be themselves so that they can attract their own platforms and become who they are. When I worked with Googs, he never gave me platforms. The biggest platform he gave me, I was a BGV, and I had songs I'd recorded. Likuwa nampiga backup. Ule mzee akwanga pale bakusema, Gia, yeah, come on, nini.
What's up?
He was up, yeah. So that is the biggest. But he trained me, and I will go to meetings, and I am the only DJ Rick. I'm only DJ Gigi. And the next thing I'll say, ni aje Gigi inside the number, pia mimi ni msanii. So through that platform, I was able to build a network. I was able now to become me. Googs used to do dancehall. I still stuck to my rap music because he never duplicated himself in me, but he shared the path of me becoming me and the principles of me becoming me.
Wow,
and that's why he's Googs and I'm T. Yes.
We have your own identities.
Yes.
And of course, listening to you, there's a lot of discipline because some people want to be mentored, but they don't have the discipline of being mentored. And some mentors want to duplicate people. And I want us to go deeper into how some people have lost their way. Because the truth of the matter is, sometimes when you feel you've arrived at that place, then your mentors don't have the audacity or the permission to speak to you. Yani watu wanapata kiburi. And we have seen the truth of the matter, especially in the gospel industry. We have a problem.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
And you have been in the industry for a very long time. And you know there are some you started with and have fallen off.
Yeah.
Well, after the break, I'm going to discuss why, what are the pitfalls. And Mr. T, as a mentor, what should these people look up to? Even the ones who haven't fallen yet, what should they open their eyes to? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the All Men Show. Please do not even touch. Actually, go and get a glass of water. If you're a lawyer, go and get some tea and come back because we want to get deeper into this issue. Well, thank you very much. While we're still here, this is the All Men Show. I'm your friend and your coach, Robert Broale. We are discussing matters of mentorship. I will go deeper into ministry and all those things. We have learned the importance of being under authority if you're going to be a person of authority. And you've been told the difference between a coach, a mentor, and a father. So it's easy now to differentiate and to understand what we need to do. Moji.
Yeah.
Allow me to get a little bit personal.
Yes, Baba.
Because it's very evident you're big on authority. But your own mother, you lost your mom, and may her soul continue resting in perfect peace. Your mother gave birth to you when she was 16. And I know you have said time and time again that it pains you that she wasn't alive long enough for you to spoil her in a good way. You understand? Just to give thanks, just mazoli ni chunga, you are young, sasa let me do something for you. And you needed your siblings, you needed to be firm and sober for your siblings to be okay, because now you're like the father to your siblings. Is that one of the main things that build your love for authority? Because you had to be an authority at a very young age.
Yes, could be. Of course, it's one because now it's a task that has come, and you need to be equipped to be able to do it. But just to go back, when I was born, I was born into my shosho's home. So my guka was there, and my guka, like as a young boy, I used to sit under my guka, and my guka, there's a time he even had he was a wanaitangwaje, it's like a foreman, wale wanaweza kujengea nyumba. That's what he was. And then at some point he got an accident, and he was so alikuwa anakaa chini sana, so tuko nakaa naye. So he taught me, first of all, mwanaume lazima kuwe na responsibility, na akanifunza hiyo kusikiza from a young age. And being raised kwa church pia na shosho, hizo vitu zote nikafunzwa the importance of a spiritual authority and all that. So by the time after my mom is passing, already the principles have already been taught. I know the principle of submitting to God and submitting to a spiritual authority and all those things, but I hadn't come to learn vizuri the importance of that. But being that my mom was away, I'm just with shosho, now I have a lot of people, I needed somebody wa kuweza kuniguide. And I think during that period, that's when I met my pastor and a few other people who could be able to guide me on the journey of being a responsible man. Because hata kama niko na bro na sis, bado kuna so many other things about life that I might not understand. Unahitaji mse wa kukuencourage, unahitaji mse wa kukuambia hapo kuambia hapo skuma hapo. So yes, at that point of my life, I needed direction, na ndio maana nikaanza kuitafuta. So, and I think sometimes life yenyewe kuna vitu zitatukujia zenye tutahitaji kutafuta, utahitaji knowledge ya kuweza kunavigate. So sasa hiyo nilikuwa na mziki ndio bado hiyo time mziki bado ina struggle na hizo vitu zote. So at that point niweza kupata hiyo guidance na nikaweza kujua vile nitaenda. Marafiki zangu wengine walikuwa wanakuja na so many ideas and so many ways, because you know the gospel industry, and I realized sasa hiyo vitu za coach, mentor,
Father.
na father, kuna wase kwa gospel hawana father, mentor, coach. So hauna coach, hauna mentor, hauna father. So advice yoyote wenye itakukujia ama kitu yote itakaa idea. There's a time with T, and I don't think T I don't think he remembers he said this. He said, we are gospel artists, but it's like we are learning from the enemy. So you find the coaches of some gospel artists are very secular. You understand? So it's like wewe unachezea Kenya but coach wako ni wa Uganda. So half time na jezi yako ya Kenya unaenda kuingia changing room ya team nyingine. So and that's the confusion that we have with a lot of gospel artists, that we have what we admire, or the people we aspire, or the people we look at are people who are not ideally on our team. So unapata kuna mali whatever you're saying you stand for and whatever you're following, they will come and clash. So for me it was important kukua okay sawa, I'm a gospel artist but I go to this church, I serve at this church, this is the people that I hang out with, so that whatever I'm hearing, whatever my coach is saying, my mentor is saying, and my father is saying are things that are going in line. And for me I think that has helped me as a person, as a brother, and also as a musician, as an artist.
Mr. T,
Yeah.
where did we drop the ball? Because he's speaking with a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
But I can't say that for many other people within the industry. You understand? So where did we go wrong?
The first thing is that gospel industry has, or the ministry had 3 phases. There was the prophetic phase, the preparation phase, and the prophet phase. And in every phase, there's a generation that was present. So there's a generation we consider as the generation of the fathers of gospel, who knew the prophecy, what was going to happen. And then there are those who went through the process. They will sit here and give you very sad stories, how they fought for music to be played on air, how they went to corporates to negotiate for deals until gospel was accepted. And then there's a generation that was birthed in prophets. They don't know the prophecy, they don't know the process. So they came in a time of plenty and they don't know the tears. So them that knew the prophecy tried to manage those who are born in the age of prophet. Because now you're managing a man who never went through process and don't know the prophecy, but he's walking, he's driving a Mercedes, just did a song. That's the time when these online platforms are paying. He has a Mercedes and you're walking. You've been in the industry for 20 years, you've nothing to show for. And then he's been there for 2 years and he has all these things. And so he's looking at you from a place of results and he feels like you cannot advise me. Then now, them that went through the process shifted from becoming wachungaji wakakuwa wachinjaji. So ideally, it reached a place now we were eating our own. Like I will go to a corporate, make a deal of 20 million, and in that deal, I will not be very genuine with the people. So I make the deal, pocket the money, but want these people to be ministers. Whereas I'm in business. So slowly those who are mentoring lost the integrity and the credibility. Unajua nasemanga mdomo inanuka bia, haifai kukuhubiria. So, so those who are telling us not to take alcohol were smelling of alcohol. So even those who are born in the age of prophet began to see the things that they were saying and the things that they were doing were clashing. So it was a whole chaos where we stand as fathers. We are saying, you know what, wase, nipoa kufanya church wedding. Mimi mwenye nasema nipoa kufanya church wedding, niko na wife na mtoi, na kuna wedo ili happen. So this guy looks at me, or Moji will look at me, and he's like, pasi, hiyo kido unatuambia, hai make sense, kwa sababu wewe hatukusikia wedo, neither did we hear you say, but then ili hata, but you push and look like you're saying, munafaa kufanya wedo, but we know the truth. Perfection. So that's really what happened. Then now, when the prophets came, we lacked what we call management. And these are it goes all over. Your next level after prayer and after faith is management. Faith will never manage for you. So we backslid at the place of plenty. We never backslid at the place of scarcity. We didn't have the skills of management. Money came, fame came, deals came, and nobody mentored us on the next level. We mentored Moji on prayer. We mentored Moji on word. We mentored him on faith. Then faith brought the things. Now he has the things. We never told him, boss,
How to
money will
manage.
come and you need to manage. This thing will speak to you. You need to manage. You need to belong to a church. You need to be a tither. You need to be all these things. We never taught them management. And because of that, also now the award system came. We can't fail to talk about this. The award system brought what I call segregation. It was an amazing idea. It was a good concept, brilliant for the first time, bigger than the secular. But through that, now we began to have classism. And through that, we divided ministry. Through that, we made this look like more anointed, less anointed. Through that, we made it look like he's paid 50 and paid 10. So everyone now began, we were divided into these clusters and these classes. And those who are paid 50 felt we are the superstars. And those who are paid 10 felt we are the mini-stars. We are the small stars. And so we were called the ministers. And this segregation now began to kill the whole entity. And then the bigger picture, them that were even organizing these events, they veered off. They went to secularism. So they were a voice. You can imagine, I'm here, I'm a big artist, I'm doing big things. I tell you guys, this is the way, this is what God told me to do. The next thing, boom, I'm here doing secular. And so we are like, boss, kumbe ilikuwa business kutoka day one, lakini ulikuwa unatuambia hii ndio njia. And you discover when that thing went south, we lost many frontline gospel ministers because that idea came. They were looking up to us. I'm a pastor. Today I tell people we don't do ministry for money. And they're looking up to me from that point of, but it's not about money. But the day they will feel like hapana pasi, offering yote unachukua unaenda nayo mtaa. Wewe tunaona umeanza kutesa. Na wewe unatuambia it's not about money. These people will come to a place and say, he says it's not about money, but ideally he does it for money. So we were told it's not about fame, it's about Jesus. Later, it's not business. Later, we discover, you come and tell us, this is a platform and this is business. No offense. I'm branching out into this other field. And people said, why not? And that's why one of the leading artists doing secular music today will tell you, I'm still a gospel artist, though I don't want to be called gospel, but I'm doing these love songs. Because those ahead of us made it look like it is business, and we are sorry, we lied to you, but this has always been business. Then the other
Deal
problem,
with it, kind
yes,
of thing.
the other problem, I always call it the German philosophy. When Hitler infiltrated Germany, he told them, you guys are great, you are unstoppable. Nobody will ever beat you. And that mentality never died. Even when Hitler lost in war, it never died. They still went to war, believing they are great, they are unstoppable and nothing. We were made to believe we are the best. Gospel is the best. Gospel is topping charts. Even now, people still have that old notion, whereas the reality is different. You do a song today, gospel, it doesn't go anywhere. But we still have the pride of former glory. So hatuwezi itana mkutano tujiulize, wase tumehata. Ukita mkutano wase wanasema, mazee tulikuwa tunatesa, lakini swali ni hatutesi. Tulikosea wapi? And that conversation has to happen. So I'll say we are a backslidden lot. We need to go back, repent, and just allow God to take us back to prophecy, take us back to process, because prophets have blinded us. Yes.
Moji,
Yeah.
listen to Mr. T.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to ask you a direct question. When fame came in, is there a point when you felt it was getting to your head? And maybe you get to a place when I say, I wish I'm scared. Is there a time it got there?
I think it constantly does try to get there.
Right.
I don't think it's you can. I think you wake up today and you say, nimekonka. Me fame will never affect me. It's a lie. You know, even sin, it always tries to come back. But the power that's in you, it's bigger. The powers in you. So if you constantly submit to God and you constantly are in fellowship with God, it means that all those feelings and all those things will be suppressed, because fame will always try. It will always try to kuinua kichwa yake, because kuna mali unafikaga unaona so lazima wewe mwenyewe ukwe so alert, you know, to be able to know this thing needs to be suppressed. Now you need to also again always be in fellowship, always, you know, do all these things that will bring you back. You see, like I'll give you an example, Brale, and this is where I think for me kitu imenisaidia sana, and I talk to any other gospel artist mwenye kwa hapa nje. Just because you're an artist, ukifika kwa it's good to have a church and to serve at a church. Si Burale, Robert Burale huku nje anatesa, ndio? Yeye ni mentor, sijui nini, vitabu mingi, si ndio? Ukienda kwa madhako saa hii atafurahia 2 minutes, right? The next minute unaweza sikia umembo the most random thing kama endo ukate kuni. ama niko nimeka mboga hapo juu zilikuwa zinakauka, hebu leta. You understand, like right. Within 1 hour of you being in your mom's house, it changes back to the son. And that's what happens at church. You need to be in churches where now we turn back kuwa sons. It's not uko sisi ni master. So enda kwa church, enda uko uoshe kiti, ama ufanye kitu, ama userve kwa children's church, ama userve kwa media, ama userve kwa ushering. That will help you kukukumbusha wewe sister. And I think that is very important. So for me, I'd say fame and all these things, hizi stars zote zinaweza, when you are in fellowship, when you are in a community, when you are in church, when you're serving in church, it will help you bring back that to bring back kuriwind hiyo kitu. Kwa sababu ukishindaga na watu wanakwambia wewe ni star, hata kama wewe si star utaanza kufikiria wewe ni star. For real, ukae tu na watu wanakuchochaga, yani wewe ndo bazoo mzee. Wewe kuna kama wewe. Utafikiria hivyo. And the moment you step out from hiyo kitu, utaenda mahali uongea watu washindwe nini mbaya na wewe. You understand? Have you ever seen somebody akujapa kama leo kwa hii show aseme kitu nyinyi wote mshindwe? Kuna unadhani wewe ni nani? Yeah. Ni Jumali yeye ushinda ameshaambiwa, ameshaconvincewa yeye
ndio bazoo.
Yeye ndio bazoo. So akikama hapa yani hata kuni huko kunaga maji, unajua like shindwa man ni aje, tulia bana. Hii kitu ni a few minutes you go. So I think it is very important to be part of a community, part of those places, to be with people that don't celebrate you. People that love you, appreciate you, but don't so nashinda kikucelebrate hapo wanakudanganya. Wanatejua sana kuambia reality, watanakuuliza wewe by the way ni aje? You know, tunakuona ukifunga hizi deal tai tunatoa. You understand? Tunakuona ukipiga hizi vitu fast food tunatoa, tumekuona hizi hatujakuona church. You understand? Whatever hizo vitu zote, unasema umechoka juu ulikuwa show jana usiku, ingekuwa na show nyingine asubuhi ungefika. Enda church, fanya hizi vitu zote. So fame and all these other things, they can only be reversed if you are part of a community, if you submit in certain places that will be able to bring you back to reality. Otherwise ukiishi kwa hiyo ni kama facade, uko tu hapo kitu inakubeba huko juu, kuna siku reality itakubring down, na hiki wakati itakubring down haitakuwa very kind. So lazima wewe mwenyewe ujilete chini, wewe mwenyewe willingly, ama tu life yenyewe
itakuhumble.
Na life ikikuhumble haikuangi rahisi. So for me I guess it's constantly bringing yourself willingly, you know, submitting to certain things, willingly doing things that are not necessarily very nice, but those things help you, bring you back to reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to go to a break shortly, but Mr. T, you have been in the industry. I mean, nakumbuka maisha mimi nilikuwa napenda hiyo ngoma sana.
You know ilikuwa movie.
You're a mentor, you're an author, you're a pastor. Listening to him, the truth of the matter, kwa ground vitu zingine ni different. You invite a gospel artist, anakuuliza kwanza ni watu wangapi watakuwa, before ni kubalio contract, utanilipa pesa ngapi, unajua anakuja na watu 50. What do you tell those people?
Someone said you can't change a system that fed you and taught you. If you're in that system, you must be out of that system to change that system. We were lectured by secular men on how to do God's business. So we are using a formula of the world to try to get results of the kingdom. We went to the secular world, we were told we were brands. We came to the kingdom, the Bible says the least is the greatest. You go to the secular world, you are told, you know what? There is a quote, there is a budget. You come to the kingdom, freely you receive, freely you give. You go to the secular world, they say, you know what? You have to be celebrated, you're a master. You come to the kingdom, the Bible says that you become great by serving. So you can see the parallelism. So the moment we were taught and trained by the secular world to do God's business, hapo ndo tulihata. Because you can't use a physics formula to get mathematical results. Hizi za physics zitakupe physics results. So the same, so tulienda tukatumia formula ya Babylon kujaribu kuget results za kingdom, na ili hata ili produce superstars badala ya ministers, ili produce fame men badala ya servants, ili kamika produce wase wako na pride badala ya humility, ili produce mabrand badala ya wase wenye wangesema we lifted Jesus and men came closer to us. It is a parallel system, and that's why utakuta moja anasema enda church, because hauwezi sema unafanya kazi ya Mungu lakini unatrainiwa na wase wa dunia. Lazima utrainiwe na Mungu ndio ufanye kazi ya Mungu. And I'll tell you the reason why even our gospel has not broken a certain ceiling in the spirit. It is because you can't break that ceiling if you don't fully commit to the principles of the kingdom.
Shikilia hapo. We need to break that ceiling. I want us to get deeper into that, because the truth of the matter, we haven't. Well, please rush and get a pen and a paper, because the amount of wisdom flowing from these two men is just, you cannot confine it. Please get a pen and a paper, add some more tea, some juice and some water. See you after the break. This is the All Men Show. I'm your friend and your coach, Robert Broale. Do you have your pen ready? Do you have your paper ready? Because this last part of the show, I'm sure there'll be more wisdom flowing. And let me tell you something. Some things, if you don't write them down, you will miss them. Well, before the break, Mr. T, you're talking about there's a ceiling that we haven't managed to puncture through. Why is that? And what is that ceiling anyway?
That ceiling is, you never hear of a Kenyan gospel artist who's gone global. You don't hear of our songs being played on, even as, go to Tanzania, Uganda. Just East Africa, we've not broken that ceiling. And it's not just even in music, even in many other things. Even in our preaching, there are very few pastors who can be invited in Nigeria or even South Africa, big, and fill a tent. But we invite them and fill tents here. And first of all, that ceiling is because of our philosophy as a nation. We believe not on building on other people's work, but we believe in deconstructing their works and looking like we are better than them. That is the philosophy, even in our politics. You never hear of a politician who will come and say, the president has brought us to this level. We want to pick it up from here and build. They will come and say, these people have failed. These people have done. So we destroy everything they did, and we look like now we are building afresh and we are bringing something new. For the gospel is because, as I've said, we have not been doing kingdom business with kingdom principle. Babylon comes and steals us away. You go to the corporate world, you go to the top brains in the industries, you go to the bands, you go to some of the big secular musicians. They began in church. And Babylon does not come for you when you're in Egypt. Babylon comes for you when you're in Canaan, the place of establishment. And the moment potential shows up, that's when Babylon comes. When Babylon comes for Moji, they will not tell him not to sing gospel, but they will begin to tell him, you're a brand, you can be our ambassador. But anyway, but for you to be an ambassador, try to be friendly to young people. Try to do 1, 2, 3. By the time Moji discovers 5 years later, he has all the medals, but he lost the principal way. And until we come to the kingdom dealing and operation of things, tutakuwa tunafikanga ka place, tunarudi down. Nafika ka place, tunarudi down. So we have to be radical. Mimi ukaniuliza what happened in gospel, ni kama mseme switch off fan. It doesn't stop spinning immediately. It begins to lose the momentum. By the time una discover, poop, hii kitu ilinyamaza. Na saizi, watu wameanza kudiscover, tuli lose momentum kitambo. In fact, when the gospel looked like it was at the top, that is the moment our hijacking began. And I remember there's a place, si tulikuwa tunaitwa ministers, tulikuwa tunaambiwa nyizi mapazi nyinyi tunaitu minister, nyinyi vile hamjashine. And I remember a prophetic word came when the gospel was at the top, and we said, be sensitive when the world celebrates you. It means you are not changing them. It means there is an element that belongs to them that they have seen in you, and that's why they are celebrating it. Be sensitive when you are played in clubs. It means there is something that they have seen, and that's why they are claiming it back. It's not that the gospel is being played. And look, today, we lost that thing. It's no longer there. Tumerudishwa kwa Sunday Circle. There's a time we lost 60 hours on air. Stations will come and restructure and say, we don't want anything gospel. Take it to Sunday. Wacha wapigane huko. And nobody saw it. We were shouting. Nobody saw it. We say these awards have become our gods. We no longer seeing, hearing what God is saying. We are living for the next award. Nobody is asking what is the word. Tulikuwa tuna sing for the next award. And because of this, we went down. But guess what? Gospel has not died. God will never leave without a remnant. Saizi God ana bring another sound. And the next one, itakuwa ninoma. The sound will need people that have gone through the process. The sound will need people that have gone through the fire. The sound will need people that carry the genuine spirit of God. I always tell people, we can fake tongues, we can fake prayers, but we can never fake the presence of God. The next lot of artists will be carriers of God. They will stand and hold the microphone. Na utasema, huyu ni wa Mungu.
Kabisa.
Huyu ni wa Mungu. Ikifika point tunaenda kwa interview kutetea song kusema, by the way ni gospel. Na nimswa secular nakuuliza, hii gospel iko na gospel wapi? Mimi ndo narichia na hii gospel na hainirichi. It tells you to it tells you tulihata, but there is hope, Robert. There is hope, because when every system collapses, now people are attentive to instruction.
Absolutely.
There is hope, and I know that's where now mentors will come in. Tutashika wase, moja atashika wase, ambia ni aje, awards nimewai, tuliget kila kitu, ndo hizi scars zangu. Nakumbuka the late Kaberere alishika one of the artists, akamuita stage akamwambia, there is nothing new, tulihata na unahata. Akamwambia, bro, mademo atakam, do itakam, fame itakam, it is not new. Sisi tukiwa gospel fathers, kuna watu walihata na staki uhate. This is the way. Take care, do ikikam, kuwa na church. Take care, mademo akikam, kuwa na team, mbogi accountable, wanakuambia hapana, umeanza kuchorea. Kuwa na keja tunaweza kutembelea bila ruhusa. Usikuange unaishi place ni kama Elijah, Tishbia, tujul toka wapi, unatokeanga tu. Kuwa na place tunaweza kama, tuingie kwa bafu tuangalia kama kuna mseme mark territory. Tukiona tunakuuliza, Moji unanga size mdogo, hii ni nini nafanya hapa, nani alilala hapa? Kuwa accountable, na hiyo ndo itakusaidia, cause that hiyo ndo ilitusaidia. Si tulikuwa na wazee wanakuja keja yako bila ruhusa, unasikia saa 8 usiku boom boom, ni aje bro uko fungua tumekuja. Wanaingia wana make sure hakuna kadema hapo, hakuna mzee amekama, na wana interrogate how. Hiyo ndio ilitusaidia tusimame.
Moji,
Yeah.
what do you look for in a mentor? Because we are talking about the importance of mentorship.
Yeah.
Can you allow, okay, now of course you're a married man,
Yeah.
watu wezi kuja kupiga mlango yako ovyo ovyo, but before then, and there are many who are still not married,
Yeah.
what do you look for a mentor? Because I have many young men who have asked me to mentor them. Ukuwauliza, what do you want from me? Ati nataka platform yako, nataka kuokaa wewe. Now, that's not really the essence of mentorship.
Yeah.
What, as you, because you've talked a lot about authority, first and foremost, who's your spiritual authority?
Pastor George Mashaya.
Great man. What attracted you to him?
Yeah.
Because it's evident, and everybody watching is very evident that you're big on being under authority. What are these things? Because there's somebody watching and they're like, you know what, I want to maintain that.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a mentor then?
In fact, is an usher. So any usher?
I serve in the media.
Wow, okay.
Ulitoka ushering.
Na ukienda hapo wewe si superstar.
Kuna.
Ni nini ulimwangalia? Uliangalia ukasema mazee, this is the guy mimi nataka kuserve under.
I think,
Na akikupigia simu utakimbia. Because mazee Mr. T, if my bishop David Morethi calls me, saa hii naambia producer I'm sorry, wacha niende.
I need to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you look for?
I think what Mr. T has said is very important. Like, mentorship is not about medals, it's about the scars. And when it comes to scars and stuff like that, it's scars na peer process. So if you are mentoring me, I don't want to meet you in town. Nataka nikam kwako. Nataka kuona how you run your thing, how do you interact with people. You understand? When people say, when you say you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for somebody who will open up their life to you, and they'll show you how they do everything, and they'll guide you. You get watakuguide, watakuonesha mali vitu zinaenda down, uone mtu wakati unajua like wakati vitu zinaenda wrong, kukiwa na hasira, wakati kuna nini hizo vitu zote, how does this person deal with different situations kwa hizo vitu. When Mr. T said yeye na Mr. Googs, akienda na Mr. Googs kwa hizo vitu zote, walikuwa wanaenda backstage, wanaenda front stage, wanatoka event, wanaenda home. Unaget akona umse na anamuona at every stage of doing different things, at the stage of recording a song, at the stage of performing it. So when I look for a mentor or somebody to mentor me kwa biashara tuseme, sitaki kukuja pale kwa shop nataka kujua stock inatoka wapi. You understand? Na huko kwenye anaendea stock ana havingi kufanya nini, right? What are these things? It's the same thing kama biashara. There's something I joke about how Nairobi, Ushasikia venye Nairobi biashara yote inafanyanga ikuwe rahisi. Tu anakuambia ai tuuze maziwa, unamuuliza aje? Nakwambia ai tuingie Kinangop. Huko maziwa inamwagwa bana. Tuchukue, sijui tuweke wapi. Oh, tukuje tuingie Marikiti. Maziwa itakuwa imengojewa hivi. But they don't tell you about. Yanataka nina kakali, yani unanikali kesho unaenda unatoa mdogo wako kwa account, unaenda Kinangop kuleta maziwa. You understand? Ujui kuna karao, ujui kuna kanjo, ujui kuna wakora, ujui that your place unataka kwenda kuuza maziwa. Kuna wengine wanauzanga hiyo maziwa na you understand? So mentors should show you. So like Pastor George, the first thing he told me the first time, Lembia, you guys, I preach to you on stage, but I want you to preach ile ministry yenye mimi ndakufanyia mingi sana ni ukikuja kwa life yangu, uone vile mimi naishi na wife yangu. Uone vile mimi naishi na, uone venye na run ministry. So when everybody is looking for a mentor, if you're looking for a mentor out there, look for somebody who will show you behind the scenes, who will walk with you. You will see, they'll open up their lives to you. But if somebody is mentoring you, anakuambia Mercedes kwa gari poa sana, understand? Like unajua unaona tu the glamour, lakini kuna hiyo sweat yenye inaenda nyuma, kuna hizo vitu zote, the runnings. So for me, if I'm mentoring anybody, hata saa hii msanii akikamsaya aniambie is a new artist, aniambia nataka ni aje mazini niko na talent, nataka collabo. Sasa hiyo najua kwanza ushapiga step. Lazima turudi nyuma steps ka 6. Umetoka wapi? Yes. Unafanyanga nini? Come tuende na we gig. Come church. Come tuende wapi? Come tuende studio. Wacha uelewe hizi vitu zote new happen. Tuende kwa interview. Let's go to all these places. So if I'm looking for a mentor to mentor me in any area in life, I'll want them to open up their lives to me, not just to show me. Wasinionyeshe the finished product.
Let me put you on the spot first.
Yeah.
There are others who look up to you, of course.
Yeah.
Some have not told you, they just watch you and follow you.
Yeah.
Is there one scar you want to tell me? Any scar about your journey?
Any scar? Itasemaje? Sasa ni moja ama unataka nikupe moja?
Nataka tu moja.
Any a scar that I have.
Yani kuna something, temptation, something you say, kama singekuwa na mentor hapo ningeanguka.
I think for me, the biggest one would be when the prophets, when the gospel industry, when we came, tulikuja wengi, wengine wakakimbia sana. So kulikuwa na temptation ya kutaka kufanya some things zenye zinaleta quick results. So
Shortcuts.
Shortcuts, yeah.
Okay.
And I think that period was very painful because in your own head you think you're doing the right thing, right? Well, you know you're doing the right thing.
But you're seeing others getting results, so to speak.
You're seeing the results. So, when you're anasema ti, we come in, another one is driving faster and whatever. All those things are happening. Certain things are coming, and there's a facade. So for me, I can say around your time, kulikuwa na a lot of, and also the other thing that happens, a lot of people will lie to you, right? They lie to you. So for me, it was, you could try kubalance that thing, ile kuwa na, niaje, this is the hard part. This is my barabara yenye the right road is not an easy road to walk on.
Okay.
So for me, I think that whole period ya transition, it was a very hairy hard part. And then pia, I think one of the biggest scars yenye, not a scar but a phase ile kutoka wakati nilikuwa toka kile takatifu nikikuwa Moji, and it was right around the same time. So there was a lot of turmoil there, and I needed somebody kuniambia, okay, this is the direction. Calm down. This is what you need to do. This is what we are doing. Na wacha tusikimbie. Tuende mdogo na God's time is the right time.
Well, I want to introduce something very, very quickly. It's a quick challenge to my good brother Apostle T and Moji himself. Swali moja mbili tu. Well, I have this, and being a lawyer, no, it's not food, although I serve food in this kind of plate. But I just want you guys to pick one thing here. Just pick. Moji chukua. Nini unaogopa?
Mbali. Chance kuweka fupi.
Mr. T. Fungua tu na ujibio swali. Tuambie ni swali gani maulizwa hapo, whatever it is. Mimi hata sijui mazee. Kama ni mbaya, blame my producer.
How many countries do we have in Africa? I believe it's 52.
52.
Yes.
Okay.
President of Namibia.
Mazee hata mimi sijui. Mimi nakumbuka tu Sam Nujoma.
President of Namibia. Hapo ni pass.
Who is the president of Namibia, by the way? I just remember Sam Nujoma or something. Producers unipatie siri.
I think the most important thing that they have a president. Yeah.
Sasa hiyo tungejuaje? Harvard Godfrey.
Yeah. Walikuwa na test discernment spirit.
Job, nimekusikia wewe unataka tu kuibisha watu hapa.
Rudishe.
Sawa,
Ama
thank you.
ingine.
No, hiyo ni sawa tu. Before I go off, Mr. T,
Yes, sir.
you're doing a great work.
Thank you.
Whatever God has called you. Where is your church?
My church is not my church. Where
Where you minister?
Hey, pastor.
where I'm pastor. Yeah. First of all, I'm submitted on Apostle David Juma.
Great man of God.
That's my spiritual father and cover. And I pastor a church called Life Church International in Limuru town, behind Naivas supermarket. That's where I pastor.
It's a beautiful sanctuary.
Yes.
I've had the privilege of being there. Asante sana. Moji, how tall are you?
I am tall enough.
Why MojiShortBaba?
Because I am short. I'm a short baba.
In a scale of 1 to 10, rate your wife.
100%.
Rap the last verse of your last recorded song.
Mawimbi, Amen.
What is the one thing that annoys you most?
Madharau.
What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
The what?
Strangest thing you've ever eaten. Kama umekula nyoka tuambie.
Ugali kwa na waru.
What is your favorite thing about someone in your family?
There's two funny stories.
What is one of your weird behaviors?
Nezeka mandizi kwa chakula mob.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Son of God.
Do you listen to secular music?
Kipita kwa barabara.
What is your favorite hobby?
Watching YouTube videos.
Are you a morning or a night person?
Morning.
What is your dream job?
The one I'm doing right now. Serving God.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Timbuktu.
And why?
Because wanasemanga as far as Timbuktu unaweza taka kufika huko tu juu ni mbali.
Asante sana. Pastor T, if you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Chips and chicken.
Your favorite Bible verse?
John 3:16.
Who is your mentor?
Apostle David Juma.
Who is your favorite superhero and why?
Jesus.
What do you admire the most? Who do you admire the most?
Jesus.
What is your favorite color?
Red.
Your favorite gospel artist?
Right now, Sinach.
What do you love cooking?
Ugali.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
I think Zanzibar.
And why?
Because of the scenery and the beauty.
What is your dream job?
Being the best pastor in the world.
Are you a morning or a night person?
Depending. When I'm jogging morning, when I'm sleeping night.
What is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby is reading.
Thank you very much. And I honor the man, Apostle David Juma. Thank you for covering and mentoring such a great man. And Pastor George Masharia, thank you for guiding and mentoring this great man here. Well, thank you very much for watching. This is your coach and your friend, Robert Broale. Again, the best show in Eastern Central Africa, south of the Sahara, and north of Limpopo, on the way of Switch TV. This is The What? The What Show? Simon Saidie?
Oh,
Man Show. Thank you very much and see you next week.